So tired. Welcome to Cyclops is Waiting for Me, an X-Men animated recap podcast with Wolverine and the X-Men episode 16, Badlands. I'm Rod. I'm struggling.
I love how you literally just finished your sentence and you didn't even have a beat in between it to start the episode. You're like, and here we go.
Yeah.
I'm JC, and by the time this episode goes live, I will have seen the Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully John Krasinski was an amazing Mr. Fantastic. That would be the funniest misdirect in history if the entire time it was actually John Krasinski, but they had Pedro Pascal do all of this promo and then not be like the Mr. Fantastic of the movie, and he's only in it for like 6 minutes. Like, that would be the coolest thing ever. That would piss off millions of people.
The only thing that would be funnier than that is if they had Randall Park do all the promo.
I mean,
that's for the Office fans.
It's true. Cyclops is Waiting for Me is our bi-weekly podcast series where we're going back and watching every single X-Men animated episode that we can find. This podcast started with the original 1992 X-Men, the animated series, which was building up to the release of X-Men 97. And along the way, we've completed X-Men Evolution and launched our companion interview show, The Xavier Files. And now with X-Men 97 Season 2 not happening until 2026, please be early in 2026. We are dedicating all of this year to Wolverine and the X-Men.
Some quick reminders. We're a recap show about a series that started over 15 years ago. There will be spoilers. If you don't want spoiled for you, pause the podcast, watch the episode, and come back. And we're currently not sponsored by or affiliated with Marvel Animation, Disney, or Disney Plus in any way.
And don't forget to follow us on social media at Cyclops IWFM Pod on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, Facebook, and TikTok.
No, sorry.
I fixed it.
I'm laughing in my head.
Fixed it.
It's about a myriad of things. I'm so delusional right now.
Delusional Rod is the best Rod.
Yeah, I'm running on fumes. Now on to the show. Today we're going to be talking about Season 1, Episode 16, titled Badlands. It aired on August 14th, 2009, and currently sits at a 7.7 star rating on IMDb. I really like this episode. As tired as I was, I liked it. This felt like... Granted, the execution was definitely like TV animation and everything, but I appreciate the effort put into the writing of it. Like, I had some like genuine, like, granted, I don't read a lot of comics, as most people know, but the few times I did, and I like the excitement that I got from the good ones and stuff, like I felt that in this a couple times. I was like, ooh,
okay.
Also, I've got screenshots. Like, this was a wild episode for like screen moments. I can't believe I caught them. Maybe it's the delusional Rod, like noticing things. But I don't know, it was fun, especially the last one. But we'll be getting there. If you ever needed a hook, this was an organic one because it really is at the end, and it's crazy.
Okay. So, I don't think I can think of an episode of this season or this series in particular where you have had like this much of like a visceral reaction. And I don't know if it's because you're crazy right now or it was that good. I thought it was a very good episode, but you're hardcore on this one.
Well, one of the screenshots is because I know you would ask me to do it later. And then the other one is because it was crazy that it's there. And I want to figure out, someone smarter than me is going to figure out what it is and how it got left on there, let alone on Disney Plus. They're probably going to take it off after they hear this. But because I know someone at Disney is watching this, because every once in a while, not this show specifically, but every once in a while I run into someone in Disney and they tell me they see something on my social media. I'm like, so you're aware of me in general. We're not sure if they watch this show specifically, but like, we're
interesting
here anyway. On the previously on,
it's probably because of all the awful clips that we put up on Instagram Reels. They don't listen to the full episode, but they are like, oh, these assholes are at it again.
The previously on is Xavier telling them to look for Trask and Master Mold. So we're like, okay, so this is gonna be a Master Mold Sentinel story, and then a random Polaris flashback, which is almost a spoiler.
So now I am confident the only reason that Polaris was in that last episode was to make sure we knew who she was for this episode.
Yeah.
Other than that, it feels like, and then to kill Pyro. But other than that, it did not feel like she had a purpose in that last episode, other than they are putting these episodes out in an order and they're planting seeds with them.
Yeah.
That's the only reason she could have been there.
Like, we have to put this like 20-second scene in to establish, and it also makes sense that they infantilized her so much. In that to be the stark difference here. But yeah, like, so it was like random Polaris flashback. Okay, sure, whatever. But then and then
at the scene later, like, oh yeah, that tease is the worst tease ever because the previous on ruined it.
But then the actual show starts, and it's 20 years in the future. Xavier's running from Sentinels. I'm still getting used to Xavier just like not only being on foot, but just like being athletic. This whole show, he has his like mechanical braces on or whatever, so that's why he's able to do all this stuff.
Which, quick side note, technology recently they have braces that I guess their charge is only like 1 hour or something like that, but they take a very challenging thing like running up a hill and stuff like that to being virtually effortless for people. So it's not the same as obviously helping somebody who cannot walk again yet, but that's like a thing. The only problem is it's not commercially available yet because like you have this big heavy ass thing that the charge only lasts for 1 hour.
Yeah.
But somebody brought that up like within the last week to me, and I instantly like it clicked when I saw Xavier running with his braces on.
That's the thing. In 20 years from now. Yeah, and they're running from what I thought were Sentinels, and I guess they technically are, but they revealed to us a little bit later it's like different. So the first person I recognized was Bishop, saves Xavier by taking a blast for him.
Before then, he is running with some of the other refugees from the camp that they escaped from. Hellion is the one who has the magnetic powers that are green.
Oh, they're
coated.
magnetic. I couldn't figure out the whole show what that was. I thought it was just telekinetic.
Yeah. And then the character most known because of Marvel vs. Capcom is Mara, who's there too. And then we also have Domino along for the ride too.
Yeah, so I had here Bishop saves him by taking the blast, and then there's like a really ragged Domino. And then we found out those aren't Sentinels. And then my note is like, oh, Marrow's there too. Glowing green guy barricades them in a warehouse. I guess I didn't know that he had magnetic powers, or I did, and I forgot since the last time we talked about him. And then they reveal it's like a Wolverine Sentinel. Which is interesting.
I want to talk about the Sentinels for a second because I felt like at the beginning it gave a very like canine impression
Looked like the dogs was that Evolution that those dogs were in?
The dogs were the Warwolves, which was the second Mojo episode from 92.
Oh, okay. 92. Wow, I'm all over the place.
But recently in the Uncanny X-Men comics, they revealed a new kind of Sentinel called Wolfpack Sentinels, which are actually, they literally look like Sentinels, but are wolves. And they go very feral and stuff like that. So at the beginning, I was like, oh, this is like a dog Sentinel, like some new like model of them and things like that. And then you get the reveal that when it pops its claws, it pops like Wolverine style claws.
Yeah.
So
the only thing that threw me off about those being like based off of Wolverine is they had like this tail.
Yeah, like it was more of an animal, like legit animal, not a Wolverine vibes.
But specifically like a dog or a wolf thing, because all four. It's like, and the tail was like almost like a cat's tail or something. It was like pretty long and stuff. I don't know. It was weird. Probably just like a design thing they weren't thinking about. But anyway, yeah. So that popping its claws was like the cliffhanger into the intro. And when we come back from that, we're in the present day at an MRD facility, Forge,
which at first I didn't realize was that same Warren Worthington facility that they did the false flag attack on.
Oh, I didn't put that together either.
Yeah, it was the same. Like at one point they did a wide shot and they showed it. I was like, oh, that's the same spot where the Brotherhood basically framed the X-Men.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, and Forge, Kitty, and Wolverine are sneaking in. They quickly find out that this is a Sentinel factory,
and they are in the gray suits. So here's a really cool tidbit. This one, also, the fandom wikis have given up at this point. We've talked about the gray suits before. The most famous use of the gray suit that the typical person has seen is in Deadpool 2, where they did the reference where his entire suit is covered in ash and stuff like that. And that's like the X-Force suit. The X-Force gray suits debuted in 2008. So a year before this came out, in X-Force #1, which was written by Craig Kyle and Chris Yost, who are also the showrunners / writers of this episode.
Oh, so they're plugging their own thing.
I mean, nobody was going from watching a cartoon to buying comic books. That whole myth has been dispelled at this point. But I do like that there was that continuity, because we also saw the gray Wolverine outfit for the first time ever in X-Men 92, in the Sanctuary episode, because remember, for some random reason, there was a gray Wolverine and then an outfit that Rogue never wore again. It felt like a flashback to that, but also the modern reference to their comic from the previous year.
Yeah.
So
I kind of took it, and I didn't think it was a direct reference to this, but I kind of took it as like a kind of parallel to the black leather from the movies and stuff. And this is the thing where, like, I hate the black leather, obviously, because of the movies and all that, but this is the one time I got, like, this makes sense. Like, the covert stuff is the time it makes sense to wear. I wish they would have done that in the movies, where they had the ridiculous outfits until they had to be, like, covert, and then that's when they bring out, like, black leather and stuff, because that makes sense. So, yeah, so in this context, like, they're trying to sneak around a government facility. Yeah, you don't want to be in, like, neon yellow when you're running around.
Yeah. And they do a pretty good job of it, because they really don't get seen until Wolverine starts attacking people. Like, they even pull a few like Batman Arkham Asylum, like, takedowns on people, like, knock them out and then pull them into, like, a corner kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah, I never played that game. I was going to say kind of like Metal Gear Solid, like a snake kind of thing. Yeah.
The combat is just way better in Arkham.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and so they...
And then... There, I did notice really quick on the screen, because they find like this big like central hub. It's still like building the Sentinel Prowler was the thing on the screen.
Okay, and
I think the Prowler was that one from the earliest episodes where it was the one that looked kind of like a scorpion, right? That was the Prowler. I want to say.
So yeah, so I was actually focusing on the next thing where like Forge plugs in his little like Palm Pilot basically to download
the
stuff.
iPad or the iPod,
thing. And this is the first screenshot that's like less exciting, but I knew like you probably want to post. I screenshotted what's on the screen. I'm saying that to you right now.
Oh, I didn't want you to reveal it until you got to the point. I was curious when you were like, what did he screenshot? Because I would care about it.
Yeah, so this one, just because it's like, it has very specific text, and I was kind of wondering if it'd be like just gibberish or like another, like, I don't know, IKEA order or something. But this one is actually kind of interesting.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it says the Master Mold is an immense Sentinel robot, at least 30 feet in height, which, like all Sentinels, is dedicated to the capture and destruction of superhuman... Wait, that's a...
Yep, that language is not... yep, that's poor grammar.
The original Master Mold was created by the Sentinel's inventor, and then a period. So it's like, it doesn't seem like it didn't have time to complete. That's just where the sentence ended, but that's... what was on there. It's also funny that would just be in the computers, like at the factory, as like exposition.
Yeah, the Wikipedia entry is in the computer, that it has its bio just in case.
And then after that, whenever they cut back to the screen, it looks like it's just like a bunch of numbers and stuff. But that one thing happened so quickly, I was like, I wonder what that said. And now we have HD. Now, the next screenshot is going to be much funnier. But that one was like interesting. Okay, they made sure to put specific things on this screen. Okay, so Forge is downloading the database, which I guess they've upgraded from a single computer to now something that can be downloaded onto like an iPad or something. Or I guess iPads they either existed or were getting really close to existing about this time.
2009, I bought my first iPhone.
So they didn't have iPads yet, but the concept, I guess, so it was like, something iPod, iPhone kind of thing. I feel like iPads were like probably early, but I don't know. Sometime
April of 2010, so it was a year away.
2010s.
Or actually, at this point, 9 months away.
Oh wow. Okay, so real close. They were ahead of their time.
Yep.
And Wolverine takes on the guards while Forge continues to download whatever the database stuff is. And
they have an interesting conversation really quick with like, because this is Goofy Forge who doesn't know what's going on and is just following orders. And Kitty's like, well, we should take him out. And Wolverine's like, well, we have to know what they're doing so we could take them out at like a larger scale instead of this just slowing them down, which I guess is super valid, because if you go back to that, the whole MRD facilities being attacked by Magneto, like it really didn't slow them down that much by having direct attacks, because they've rebuilt this Sentinel facility pretty quickly.
Especially now that, and I guess they don't know this yet, but they have a Master Mold. So like, and she didn't seem like she was there in person necessarily, or like not super vulnerable, like, so
the Master Mold. Yeah. Well, at one point during the episode, there's like this little like eye that is like just kind of there in the middle of their console and looks like it's spying. My vibe was that was Master Mold's like consciousness spying on it.
So it's like they were kind of smart in like decentralizing Master Mold. So like you said, like the taking out this one facility, she might just be in the cloud or somewhere in the desert or something, and
So it's not like the Trask or the Gyric one in Trask in X-Men 97. We're just kind of there in the middle of the Sahara and gets beat to shit in a heartbeat.
Away, yeah, or just any other sci-fi thing where you kill the one alien ship and it gets rid of everything else.
Yep. But yeah, also he's like, well, stuff is going to go bad. When it goes bad, you take Forge and you get out of here.
Mm-hmm. So. And that's what they do. Forge finishes downloading pretty quickly after that. That's when they have the screen shows just kind of numbers and stuff. And then Kitty kind of phases them out of there. While Wolverine's attacking everybody, Trask activates like a half-constructed Sentinel to blast Wolverine unconscious. That's one of the things I really liked about this episode. Like, it seemed like a video game moment, but a cool X-Men video game thing. I was like, oh wow, it's like I could picture the Sega game, like the Genesis game, where like the half Sentinels above, like going back and forth from the screen, shooting down and stuff.
Or it's the cutscene in the game where it's like you got through the fight and then all of a sudden like you there's no way you could dodge the big thing that's going to knock you out and end the level.
Yeah. So that does knock out Wolverine, and they say like they need to go scan him, and then suddenly the Wolverine Sentinels kind of make sense. And I like that this kind of was. We were talking about this a few episodes back. Like,
yes,
yeah. What if stuff in the past affects the future and trying to changes the timeline? Because like when we were in the future, Bishop said something like, "What are these things?" Like, and they were trying to figure it out. So it's like stuff happening in the show's present is altering their future.
It has like a long-term ripple effect. So like it didn't completely change the future, but it was enough that, oh, why is there a brand new version of a Sentinel that we've never seen before if they scanned him 20 years prior?
And it is interesting though, this is a version of like butterfly effect where the people in the future are aware of the changes, which I think is an interesting choice too. But yeah, they do take a body scan of Wolverine. It's just sci-fi cartoon magic. We assume that one scan over gave them everything they needed to know. I guess he did learn that he had an adamantium skeleton. I didn't realize that wasn't like common knowledge in this world. And he's like, I just thought you were really durable. Yeah. And then he's like,
but then he also extrapolates it like, oh, I guess that's how you were able to survive the adamantium process is also from your healing factor.
Yeah. Yep. And then in the future, the new Sentinel, I wasn't quite sure what happened here, gets absorbed by Bishop. Was it because he told everyone to shoot at the Sentinel that he like it was a confusing like set of circumstances? It's like they all shot at the Sentinel thing, and then Bishop like bear hugged him and then like blew him up.
I think it was just whatever charge he had left, he just let it out as he was doing it.
Got it. And then they're sitting there watching the thing. They're like, "What are these things?" And I think Xavier even says like, "Did that look familiar to you?" And they're like, yeah, that's kind of strange.
Yeah, doesn't that remind you of somebody?
And then the Sentinel starts healing, kind of like Nimrod. Yeah. And they were like, that certainly does. And then a shit ton more show up. So I guess this universe is not replaced. It's like, it's not Nimrod, but it's kind of like that advanced Sentinel in this show.
It's like it follows basically at this point. And I love that, like, and maybe it is just telekinesis and I'm messing up the powers for Hellion. But it's like, he just keeps throwing wooden doors at these things and it's having no effect whatsoever. Like by the time it's hitting them, they've already sliced through them.
Yeah,
so.
I like the one time early on when they try to barricade, or no, I guess it happens now. They barricade into this warehouse room.
With just more boxes.
Yeah, or it was boxes and there was like, just like a forklift or something.
That was when they first went into it.
It was like, these indestructible Sentinels. Even if you didn't know they were special Sentinels, like when was that going to stop?
It's still a Sentinel. Yeah.
But on the other side of this, it's like the other side of this door, the buildings like demolished, so it's like exposed, and it's almost like it's not a portal, but it gives that vibe like that they've arrived on the other side of something.
I just love that they were running through this city. They go into a warehouse and they don't realize they're this close to the edge of the city. Yeah. And so like they're just oblivious to the fact that this building isn't even a full-size building. It's going to like just open up at the halfway mark.
Yeah. And then they see this like basically a Sahara desert. And they're like, oh, the Badlands. Not even the Sentinels will go here. I have a question about this geography later when there's a little bit of a reveal. But they're like, these are the Badlands. And they're like, well, fuck it. We're going to go there. And I was like, all right, you guys, I guess you don't have a choice. But then...
And real quick, in the Void, was it the wasteland that they were fighting in that was the desert area? Did it have a name, or am I making that up, that there was like an area in the void in Deadpool and Wolverine?
Oh, I can't remember. That's been a while.
Like, I could be totally wrong about that and making it up, but like I feel like it wasn't Badland, but I feel like it was like the wasteland was like where people are traversing and trying to survive or something like that.
Sounds right. It was definitely
right-ish. It's right adjacent.
Yeah, and it was definitely the same vibe because it's a big desert with a bunch of junk in it.
Yeah.
And so they run in. It looked like their plan was to be just out of shooting range of the Sentinels and not to necessarily like venture all the way into it. But,
yeah, just to see what they do.
And then
they start pacing. I love the angry dog Sentinels just like pacing in the room together.
Yeah, there's like what we do, and then we hear Master Mold override them, and then they go into the Badlands. And they're like shit, and so the X-Men run.
There was a great moment because it's like, I thought you said nobody comes here, and they're like, they don't.
Yeah. So then it cuts to commercial, and then it comes back. They're still running, and they basically come upon like a beam in the sky. Just like, you know what? It's been a while since we've seen this trope, so sure. And then like, I guess this is meant to be confusing. It's like lightning, and there's like a storm.
I thought it was lightning.
Yeah,
I thought this was Future Storm.
Maybe, yeah. I was like, and the lightning like takes out the Sentinels. And like basically anything electronic, because Domino's like guns stop working, Xavier's legs, get turned off or whatever. And
it was like they got hit with like an EMP, basically.
Yeah. And then like you start seeing everything like kind of float one direction. So it's like, oh, this is magnetic.
Right. Yeah. Anything that was a scrap starts getting pulled. Like, dude, this felt like the beginning of a Mortal Kombat fatality because Xavier's getting pulled in the air in one direction, and then Hellion is trying to pull him back at the same time. And it's not like decoupling the bracers; it's just like pulling his body in the opposite direction of this really strong thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would have been the little boys moment, right? Like behind you get both. But yeah, and that's when I have my note here is like, oh, the green glowy guy is Hellion. But yeah, and Xavier. I thought he was just going to lose his leg braces.
That's what I thought too. I thought he was going to like hit the last minute save and be like, "Oh, we have to follow that thing."
Yeah.
I guess that's your solution for not having to have Xavier trek through the desert is you just have him get sucked across it. So
and he basically, because the way that it was portrayed, it just kind of seemed like an alien abduction. Because there's the beam in the sky, electricity, the guy gets thrown up in the air. Then in the present, Forge and Kitty are quote unquote waiting for Wolverine, except Kitty's not waiting. So Forge even points that out. So it's funny. Kitty phases Forge into what we think is a room. We find out later it's like the back of a truck.
Oh no! I knew instantly that was the back of a truck.
Okay, she was like,
there was something with the design that we've seen enough of it in this series that it's like, oh yeah, Beast has been in the back of one of these things.
And she was like, "Stay here. I'm gonna go get Wolverine." And I was waiting for him to say like, "I don't really have a choice," because you like kind of phase me into a prison cell. And then she takes off, and then you see like two guards look through the back window of the thing. We're like, man, she didn't even like look up.
No prep whatsoever, just completely reckless with Forge's life.
And this is where they scan Wolverine. Okay, so I had two notes. They want to scan Wolverine before. This is where they actually scan Wolverine and find Animanium. And Kitty is phasing into the room to see what's happening, and at the same time, she sees that Forge has been arrested. It looked like she thinks he got himself in trouble, and she doesn't even realize.
She was blaming him for that.
She doesn't even realize that she had literally put him in harm's way. And he doesn't bring it up. He must be a nice guy.
He's a total sub right now. He's just like taking the abuse, man. Like he is anti-conflict. Like it's just easier if I don't bring this up. Like that's totally his vibe.
Yeah. So Kitty decides she's going to prioritize. She's going to try to. Something just exploded outside my window.
I heard that.
Okay.
Normally it's my window that we're worried about shit exploding, but yeah, okay. I legit thought it was like a book fell off your shelf, but you don't really have books. So
well, I haven't, but they're over here, and also that thing. It sounded like someone either like a transformer blew up or like someone set off a firework. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Dope. Your neighborhood is becoming my neighborhood.
Right. I also love that like I trained this cat, so I didn't train her. She just learned her behavior from me over the pandemic.
She does not care.
She's like,
Ron, I feel like this is the bonus clip. It has nothing to do with the X-Men, but it's just your cat sleeping through explosions.
yeah, really get focus on you. There you are. Yep, yawn. Perfect. Okay.
On cue. That's a stunt cat.
She's a good cat. Yeah, we're gonna scratch you on that for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyway, where was I? Then in the future Badlands, Xavier's hanging upside down. It's framed in a way that's supposed to be a surprise, but we've seen enough of this where we know it.
And also, it's kind of funny that the previous episode started with Nightcrawler being upside down. Like, upside down is not a standard trope in this show, but it happens in like two back-to-back episodes with each other. So.
And then I couldn't tell, because I was writing these notes in real time, like, it looked like it was either an island or an asteroid or something. Like, I didn't realize they were still in the same desert. Like, it looked like that they had moved to like a different like dimension or something.
I think it was just further down into the Badlands, and because you start getting this up close image of what it is, that it's all built from Sentinel pieces.
Yeah.
That I think that they just tore apart and built this whole thing out of Sentinels, and the impression that they're trying to give you is that it's actually Magneto who is the one who did it, which is pretty consistent to Magneto lore across a lot of stuff. We even saw it in X-Men 97 of like building his throne out of Sentinel heads and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
And we actually see Magneto's like helmet silhouette.
With the cape too.
Yeah, with the cape. Yep.
But of course, like the second I saw that, I was like, God damn it, that's got to be Polaris, because there's no way that they would show that at the beginning unless they were not going to reveal Polaris in this episode.
Especially the thing at the beginning that was also from last episode was specifically Magneto taking his helmet off. It was like a really weird gesture to talk to his daughter in that specific scene, because like he doesn't. Oh, in the flash, or in the Wanda moment and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it's like, okay, because he's like taking his helmet off to talk to Polaris. At the moment, it was like, is it because he doesn't want to be intimidating to her? But it's like, what? I don't know. I guess it was just like to highlight his helmet can come off. I'm not sure. So
but he releases his legs. He lands on the ground, and I was like, that's kind of callous, right. But okay. And I literally just wrote the note like Magneto fake out. Like I knew it was not going to be him.
Yeah, we see the silhouette kind of like slims out.
And then this is where in the modern era of streaming without commercial breaks, it doesn't work the same, because that was where they did the fake out, cut to commercial break, come right back, and it's the reveal that it's Lorna.
Yeah.
So,
okay, and
I legit wonder what that's going to be like in like another like 15 years. Like, is the commercial break from a narrative perspective even going to exist anymore at that point?
Yeah, that's true. Because especially at this time, they like you said, you worked in TV at that time. Like, they knew where the breaks were going to be, so everything we planned around that. So the writers are probably writing for.
Yeah, you wanted a hook to have people not click away during the commercials, because they didn't want to miss the reveal that comes back from that commercial. So
then this is the second.
That's why people were falling out of planes and planes were crashing and all that, all those other things. There was like, oh, the plane crashed. It didn't really crash that hard.
And then this is the second screenshot I'm going to send you right now. When Xavier falls onto the ground, his hand lands right on the ground and stuff. Right above his hand, there's some sort of copyright watermark. So I don't know if this is a stock image they used and didn't purchase. It's faint, but if you zoom in on it, you can see it's like copyright 2005, Maya something.
Maya Yang admin
sec www. There's like a website after it.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know what that is. That is
100% a copyright. And that's amazing, Ron.
But why is it there, and why is it still on Disney Plus? It's so why is there an unlicensed clip in this TV show?
Stephen Gordon was not the director of this episode, because I always look, because we're friendly with Stephen, and I just, especially with the references to Yost and Kyle at the beginning, I was like, oh, is this one of Stephen's episodes? It was not.
I don't.
Oh man, like of the things that like you just want to like ask people, but then it could be really awkward. Like,
yeah, I'm just so curious.
I kind of want to ask him about that at Comic-Con.
What is this? Especially because this is something that was copyrighted 4 years before the show, right? So it's like,
yeah.
What I don't understand though, like, because it's an animated show. So are there? I don't do animation. So
like
maybe
the texture.
Yeah, maybe there's like like not stock footage, but like stock backgrounds or something they use for. I don't know, like. Or is this from something else? Like, is it something from like a cell or some technology from the animation? I don't know. It's just a random thing because we're not used to seeing like a lot of animation errors in shows in this era because I feel like
they got a lot better. Like there are very few animation errors like we saw with like miscolorings in other series and stuff like that.
Because I feel like this is an era where like a lot more digital stuff was happening, right? I wouldn't be surprised if we found out this was just digital altogether.
It was like a digital background that they just used their own animation style.
Yeah, but the WWW just like threw me. I mean, everything else was kind of funny because I was sitting there.
How the fuck did you see that? Well, because like I have it like a few feet from my face, and like until I literally pull it up that close. All right, Rob. Well, we know it has to be
the clip.
in the. Holy crap, that's wild, dude.
Yeah, it was.
How did you spot that?
So, like, I watch on this TV that is like it's like a bigger than a computer monitor, but it's like pretty close. Yeah. And once again, I was like hallucinating because I was just like trying to get through the episode to make sure I like know what's going on. And I'm like looking up, like, was there text on the screen? So I like rewind and I just pause. I'm like, there is text on the screen. And so I take a picture. I'm like, what in the. Why is that there? Anyway, so that's the wild one. I don't know why it's there. If anybody has any theories that are better at animation than us, I guess we know people in animation. We could ask them, like, what would this be?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So that's unrelated to the story. Wild thing.
If I'm sober enough and remember, I'll ask Steven at Comic-Con about it.
He's like, we don't talk about this.
Quick note about. I forgot to mention it earlier in the recording, which last week we were talking about the guys from the Uncanny Experience. Co-presenting the cosplay meetup with us, which at time of this posting it happened, and I'm sure it was fantastic, and thank you for everybody attending. But there was a group cosplay at the Uncanny Experience, and they were the Bayville. What were their names? Oh my god, the girl group.
Oh, Sirens?
Bayville Sirens.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and they did all as a group grab a picture with Stephen Gordon too, or Stephen E. Gordon too. Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah, So when this posts, like a couple weeks back, I would have posted my interview with the singer of Gem and Holograms, and she mentioned GemCon, which I didn't know existed until Hasbro told me. And the way they were describing it sounded a lot like the Uncanny Experience. It's like a more intimate convention, but very dedicated. It's been happening for decades. I guess the Uncanny Experience is newer. Awesome. But
this was their junior year. I think this was their third year doing it.
I think Britta said that GemCon has been happening since like 2000 or something. But she's like, it's the same, like, not super small, but like, same, like, not Comic-Con or Anime Expo. Like,
not the big, like, massive conventions, but it's more of the, like, the super fans get to go and experience it.
Yeah, everybody knows each other.
Yeah, because I would have gone to Uncanny this year, especially, like, my job stuff was in a much better place and everything like that. But sadly, it happened in July this year, so I could not make it because I cannot do one vacation, come back, and then immediately go to San Diego, because that's where my job will not have it be my job anymore. So, all that is to say, we go back and you get the Lorna reveal, Magneto's dead, and she, now in this continuity, it is the first time she has used the name Polaris, apparently.
Okay.
So,
yeah, so she almost kills Xavier.
Because she basically is like, you were my dad's enemy, so she didn't really have a concept of their complicated relationship, and that might just be her only getting the surface level of information from her father, too.
Yeah, and for all we know, like, just knowing Magneto historically through any series, like, he doesn't necessarily speak ill of Xavier. It might just be...
No, but I could absolutely see him speaking ill of Xavier's dream.
Okay, I can see that, yeah. But I was going to say, like, just Polaris, especially if she was, like, 12 or whatever we thought she was acting like. Her, because kids always observe more than you think. Like, if she just observes, like, oh, his conflict is always with this guy, that just might be her perception, especially when she gets, like, older and stuff. Then Bishop takes her out. Polaris, this is another...
Well, she gets close to like try to like kill him too.
Yeah. But this was...
She wraps him up in metal before Bishop and the others show up. Like they almost made like a weird like scorpion tail thing.
Oh to like
that she was going to stab him with.
Kind of like the Mojo thing last episode.
There are really weird parallels between these two episodes, and this one is a lot better episode.
Yeah. Then this was one of the moments that like really made me love this episode. It was like Polaris starts assembling a Sentinel out of parts. Such a badass moment. And once again, another like video game thing I could see. But I like the idea.
It's a boss fight.
Yeah, that she's so powerful. Like she's almost at she's at a very like closer to Magneto level than we think. Because she's able, because you know, especially being like a kid who grew up with the X-Men show and stuff, you're thinking like she's concentrating on all this stuff to make this, because this robot's not like activated on its own, you know.
Yeah, and it's a functioning Sentinel. It is not just her puppeteering it; it's actually working.
Yeah, she's holding the parts together, which I thought was like so cool.
And I do love that it's kind of like a little bit what we would see in '97 of like the Sentinel graveyard with like half of the mouth falling off slightly and stuff. So it's almost like a zombie Sentinel kind of vibe.
But because she's holding the parts together, it has like the healing factor that the Wolverine ones do, because like a part will chunk off and then she'll just like put it back
replace it. Yeah.
And so that fights the X-Men. And it starts like mimicking the different X-Men. Like I love, especially the one I love was like Marrow throws like a bone thing, and it just, I don't know what she thought that was going to do to Sentinel, because it's clearly established as metal, right? If Polaris is like, so like she throws like a bone thing and just like ting, like ricochets off.
It does nothing.
And then the Sentinel's like, okay, and it takes the side of its face off and just like
threw it. It was great. And then I will say, like, because Xavier is like, no, the helmet, we have to take her out.
Yeah.
And this is the most perfect example of any animation of showing Domino's luck power.
Oh, where she grabs.
Because we've talked about like other times where it's been like, it was a lucky shot, but it was like, it was still just a really good shot with a lot of finesse. This was the perfect set of ricochets to knock the helmet off of her.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, that is luck exemplified. That is not super skilled with a gun. This is everything hit the way it needed to hit with an irregular shaped object.
That was more like the Domino from the Deadpool movie. Where she's like kind of walking through and everything's just kind of going her way.
Exactly.
I was confused though. Why was Bishop's powers neutralized?
I think he was out of charge.
Oh, okay. That was kind of unclear to me. Because of how everything else was working, like the Sentinels like mimicking the different mutants and stuff. All of a sudden, Bishop like just lost his power. Like, wait, what happened there?
I think it was because basically he had gotten almost everything out with like their previous battle, and he hadn't been shot with anything. So if Bishop isn't getting shot with the kinetic energy, he doesn't have anything to shoot back.
Gotcha. Okay.
No.
So then, the helmet gets taken off of Polaris, and then Xavier takes control of her to like stop the Sentinel. But then we see like he does his like kind of invasive therapy thing.
Dude. The second they showed Genosha, I was like, and trauma. This is trauma right now. We're going to experience the worst shit because we're X-Men fans and we know nothing good ever happens on Genosha.
What is wild is, like, I think it was 97 that really fucked me up with Genosha, because, like, once again, like, I didn't read the comics and stuff. So, like, only thing I knew...
Yeah, you didn't ever read the Mutant Massacre of Genosha that we all read in like that Grant Morrison.
So it's kind of similar to the Mojo stories, kind of being a trope through different X-Men series. Is like, I remember seeing Genosha in the first one. The Slave Island thing was like, it was disturbing, but like it kind of.
But it wasn't this level of fucked up.
It wasn't like just a genocide. Like, and then X-Men 97 happened, and they just straight up did it. And then this one happened, and this is another reason I love this episode. Is like revealing that the Badlands was Genosha. It's like, oh man, that's like the one that's like cool. Like with a few comics that I read, it was like that moment. Like it's terrible, but it's like such a cool reveal. I don't know how it's there because desert, but it was an island.
See, I didn't know if it was actually Genosha.
Oh, okay.
So I could totally see from how it's shown that was it, but I didn't get that same vibe off of it. It could be ambiguous. But I mean, for me, the moment that was like the trauma is you start to see some of the people that we know from the story is like Squid Kid and his mom, who Squid Kid also died in 97 Genosha.
Yeah.
And then you see like this couple next to Dazzler, because we saw Dazzler in that Welcome to Genosha episode performing and stuff like that. So it was just like, at the very least, whether or not you knew them, like you had recognizable faces of like the people who are dying. And then you get this build up to, Lorna with Magneto, and he's like, it's essentially the "I'm sorry I failed you" speech, right?
Yeah.
Because everything that's happening right now, it's like, I was trying to shelter you from this ever being your world. Like, it feels like she never saw the hatred that mutants got on the mainland because Genosha was the special paradise that she was, in this little safe bubble on.
So that probably lends more to, like, she probably is pretty young then.
Yeah, because I don't know how he would have been able to keep her away from that unless, maybe she's like 14 and she was a late bloomer for getting her powers or something like that. But like, yeah, I don't know if she's written younger or she actually is that young. It's really hard to tell with this animation style because Kitty could be 13 or 22 in this. I don't know how old she is.
Yeah.
I think she's 18. They established that at one point in an episode, but I could see her being either age group.
Yeah.
So.
And then Magneto tells Polaris, like, go to the deepest sub-level. I'm like, why doesn't everybody go there? But
because it's already burning is the problem.
Yeah. And so he gives his helmet and his cape to Lorna, which I guess to him, like, that's the mantle. I thought it was just the helmet, but I guess the cape is. I'm not very much of like a fashion person, but even I was kind of pissed off at how clashing those colors were. That Polaris' whole thing was green and all his stuff was purple and red, and it was like, this is wild. Like,
so I was literally looking this up to send to you. Recently, they have had a upgrade to Polaris, or a revision of Polaris's outfit, where she's literally wearing a green Magneto helmet.
Oh, green. Okay, yeah. See, that makes more sense. But like, her running around with the, I don't know.
Like, that's what the vibe of this was. And I guess it's because this is like the girl cosplaying as her father, as opposed to being a fully fleshed out, powerful mutant also, kind of scenario.
This makes me believe more that she's sisters with Wanda, because it's kind of like half crown, half helmet thing, and the green and the red and this Christmas colors. I'm just putting that together. Anyway, so and then he like opens up the floor and like drops her, I guess, into whatever pit thing's going, like, to protect her, and then she reemerges to the thing. That's where I thought that was the Badlands, because it was drawn the same way.
It was drawn the same way, because for a quick second, I thought that was her reemerging from Xavier's control. So I could totally see that from the animation perspective. But yeah, it was essentially like Xavier now understands what broke her the way that it did. So Xavier tells her he's working on something. Granted, time travel is kind of a crazy concept to bring up to someone just willy-nilly, but we are in a world where there's like Sentinels and, mutants and stuff. I kind of like the not like the real world version of me would have been like, just tell her it's time travel. But I guess I know for the conflict of the story, he's not doing that because like we need to keep the story going. But like, she's like, what are you going to do that's going to bring him back? He's like, literal time travel. Like, yeah, because he's basically like, we're all going to be free. I'm going to undo all the things that happen. And she doesn't believe him. Like,
yeah, rightfully
as
so.
She shouldn't.
Yeah, because he didn't bring up the time travel.
And then she even mentions, like, the dream of her father died with him. And Xavier's like, you got to let us go. Like, we can still try to fix this. And I kind of got the vibe she was just, like, resigned to, there's nothing she could do to Xavier that even matters.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you go because I'm just not a straight up evil person. And you kind of just brought back the shit that made me fall into this whole kind of thing.
Yeah, she just wants to be in her Sentinel graveyard in peace.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which I gotta get. But yeah, they ride back on the Sentinel like the Iron Giant.
They leave the helmet with her though. I did like that. Like Xavier's like, this is still yours kind of thing. And
then they ride back,
and that he basically said as he's giving the helmet back, like, no, your father's dream still lives with you. So yeah. And I thought that was going to be the last we were going to see of her, honestly.
Yeah, me too. And then they ride back on the Sentinel like the Iron Giant, and they face more Sentinels. Sentinel. Oh my God, it's the end of the night. Oh fuck.
It's fine. This is why we only record 2 episodes at a time now instead of the fucking 4-hour marathons we used to do.
Yeah. And then the Sentinels disappear. I thought that was the time travel thing.
Okay, before we get to that, because I think that's a totally valid response. how did they not see them in the distance as they're on this giant Sentinel walking across a desert?
Can we still say they didn't look up? I don't know if that works.
No, because it was eye level. That's why I'm saying they were on the top of the Sentinel.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't like they didn't crest a hill and they were there. It was flat desert, and they just continued to approach a wall of about a dozen Sentinels and Prowler Sentinels, or whatever the fuck they're called.
There's a filmmaker will know this, because I've heard filmmaker friends tell me this. There's a trope in filmmaking that's that, because like I saw a supercut of stuff like this where like in real life stuff wouldn't make sense, but because it goes out of frame, it's out of the eye line of whoever's in. So I guess that's what they're using here, because there's like a scene in like a recent movie where these two people are talking and then soldiers come behind them, and so they duck. But in real life, they would still be in view of these soldiers coming here, but because they're out of frame, the soldiers don't see them. And it was like a movie that came out like last year or something. They're like, yeah, this is something that like, it's like things that you don't think about until someone tells you. I'm about to ruin something else for you. Like, there's no headrests in cars and movies because of filming stuff. Yep,
because otherwise when somebody turns their head to talk to somebody, it would be blocked.
Yeah, it just looks better. And we just are...
Oh, don't worry. Instagram Reels ruined it for me a while ago.
Yeah, it's been so ingrained in our heads in movies, we don't even think twice about it. Like, that, yeah, so it's like stuff like that. So I guess that's what they're doing here. I don't know. But yeah, the Sentinels start disappearing. And
so you thought that was like one of the ripples in time kind of thing doing it?
Yeah, like the time, like it's like the Back to the Future thing, right? Where Marty is like fading away, but then it's like, oh, it's just Polaris. But that's kind of cool too, though. Maybe it was a purposeful fake out.
Yeah, I liked how the Sentinels basically were like, okay, we've probably tested this and we've probably ruined about 40 Sentinels, and we just found the consistent spot. And it's kind of like the raptors in Jurassic Park where they would test the fences to see if it would like zap them or not to find weak spots. I feel like they threw a few of the like older Sentinels at the spot.
Yeah.
It's like, where does he blow up? Okay. And then they find the next oldest one and they step back like 4 more feet and they're like, where does he blow up? And they're like, all right, this is our line. This is our safe. This is our safe zone.
The ponds. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. And then back at the mansion, we see.
Sorry. Before that. So Lorna does her thing, doesn't say a word, flies off, and Bishop is like, she should come with us, she would be useful. And I'd love that Xavier is like, no, Magneto knew she was she should only see the dream and not the war. And I thought that was a really thoughtful line. Like, I thought that was like really, really like, because we know he treats his son like a pure soldier, like not even like a quality soldier. He's just like, you're a grunt that you have to deal with my bullshit.
Yeah.
He has a level of respect for Wanda, but it's like, oh, this version of Polaris, because she's like, what is it, in the ivory tower or whatever it is, like, she can't even see the bad shit that's going on the streets below. So
yeah, he's like, he's third time's a charm, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
These kids.
Yeah. Well, you have the twins who treats as total like opposites, but still soldiers, and then the other one's like, okay, I fucked up 2 kids' life. Let's see if I can have a third that isn't a total screw up.
I was talking to a friend about like, there's a few things that are more hurtful for you than when you see like how your parents treat their grandkids, and know that it was possible for them to be more empathetic when you were a kid. They just hadn't grown.
Yeah.
So I can't have kids. I'm gonna fuck up some kids so bad.
I don't have empathy. So.
I'm a perfect. Was the shirt say punk? Professional uncle, no kids. So
nice.
That's me.
But yeah, back to the president.
Yeah, back at the mansion, they kind of bookend it with Wolverine and Xavier talking. It's more of like, it's like a little tiny half exposition button up, because Xavier explains to Wolverine what had happened in the future. It is kind of interesting that they didn't undo the Wolverine Sentinels. And once again, don't spoil this for us because we're watching this in real time, but it looks like they're setting up additional Sentinels based off of more mutant powers, and the Wolverine ones remain because the scanning happened.
we also knew that by the time of Xavier in the camp and in the other most recent future episode, like, they were scanning mutant powers and then mutants were disappearing. So we kind of got the impression that they were absorbing powers, but we find out here, whether it's the butterfly effect of the time travel and stuff like that, or that Wolverine was the first time they realized they could absorb powers into the Sentinels because of the healing factor and shit like that. So
yeah, so I don't know, that that's all those things. Is why I really like this episode. It had like a lot of fun in it. There's the crazy screenshot stuff, obviously, but but like just the story alone, like because in my view, it was the Genosha turned into the Badlands, which I thought was like a really interesting concept. Yeah. Polaris. The reveal was isolated. It was really cool. The only thing that was a little bit like weird about it was that it was so recent. But like, otherwise, like,
or that they felt the need to hit you over the head with the previously on.
Yeah.
If they had not done the previously on, and even watching the 2 episodes back to back, I still would have assumed it was a Magneto fake out, but it wouldn't have automatically been, oh, it's Polaris.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. It's the fun, and I like that they didn't undo the one thing. Like the one thing that they set up to do was to undo the Wolverine Sentinels, and they didn't undo it.
So the other thing you will like about this episode, as I say it out loud, Rod, you were right.
Uh-oh. What was it?
Remember how we talked about? Oh, that's really weird that they would make a Sentinel out of metal when Magneto is his biggest opponent, and I was like, well, Kelly can't be that stupid because he knows Magneto is his biggest enemy. And you're like, well, evil are pretty stupid people. And I was like, yeah, I can't argue with you there. And in this episode, it is shown all of those Sentinels were metal because Polaris was able to shred them with zero problem.
That's right. Even the Wolverine ones.
Yep.
That's wild. Okay, interesting.
So Rod was
my dumb prediction. So anyway, I love the episode. I said everything throughout that I wanted to say. I think my prize over liking the story was that weird copyright screenshot. But I don't know what else. Did you have anything else you wanted to
add? I will say the copyright screenshot. Like, I'm now going to try to search the phrase as best I can to see if I could get a full hit on the phrase to see if that brings up anything, if it like brings up a company or something like that. And I'll post something on the Instagram after if I find anything. I like how this series is handling time travel, because a lot of the time travel episodes we get in cartoons especially is normally just like, here, go into the future, this thing happens, and then it comes back and there's like, the reset point or something like that. Here, it's really 2 concurrent stories that are happening at the same time, and they kind of affect each other and have a little bit of a back and forth and stuff. It's more like a 2/3, 1/3 scenario.
Yeah.
But I like that it's not solved quickly.
Yeah.
I kind of dig that aspect.
It's kind of happening in real time. It kind of reminds me of, remember the movie Frequency?
I've not seen Frequency.
Ooh, it's a good movie.
I've heard it's very good, though.
It's where a guy discovers he can talk to his dead dad over a ham radio through time. So they can kind of like affect things. Also, completely tangent. I set up a new computer, and so I've been finding like random parts that I've been setting apart, and I just reached in the back of my chair and found a USB-C cable in my butt crack. So that was a fun discovery today. Anyway.
I literally have nothing that could follow
it's a good place to wrap up. I forgot to bring this up before, but if you're this deep into the episode, you'll probably find this interesting. I forgot to mention this last episode, so this was a bit posted a while back, but I'm part of a collaboration with a YouTube channel called CZ's World, their horror movie channel, and they don't need my help with the shout out stuff. They got like almost 2 million followers or whatever, but you might be interested in seeing, especially if you watch this deep in the episode, about how I would react in a haunted hayride. So last Halloween season, this was filmed because if anyone's familiar with like Eddie Burback going to every like rainforest cafe, my friend Zach, who runs CZ's World, did a similar thing, but every haunt in Southern California. And for each episode, he took a different creator with him. One of them, I don't even think he knows we know each other.
Okay, is it haunts as in like haunted houses that are fake, or haunts as in a place that is haunted?
I actually don't know the criteria. I went to a haunted hayride, LA haunted hayride, so I think it's like
so that's more like
you pay for
attraction-y stuff. Okay, got it.
And so Griffin Schiller is a friend that is part of this collab too, which I didn't know until I just saw the preview for the episode. But also some other people you might recognize is Philip Molina and stuff. So, but yeah, I was the LA one. I got sent the preview reel, which everybody will have seen by now. About how I reacted to that, and is more hilarious than I remembered, because I actually did injure myself at one point trying to run away from a guy with a chainsaw.
I do remember you being injured last year.
Oh yeah, I ran into a rock because I was left. It was like a horror movie. I was left alone in a corridor in the dark, and then a guy with a chainsaw showed up in the middle of the dark hallway and ran after me. I'd forgotten about this whole shoot until I just got this email, because it's taken him literally a year to edit this video with a team of editors and stuff. But yeah, it starts off with me saying, like, I don't normally get to do stuff like this. We're gonna see how my nerves are. Oh my god! Jesus Christ! Oh my god! Oh my god!
I think I've told you this before. I don't know if I've ever said it on camera. If I ever go through any of the like haunted attractions, I have to have my hands in my pockets because my fight or flight reaction is not that I'm going to win in a fight, but I'm gonna swing.
Yeah.
And like I've walked through, like we've done Playlist Live, and they had like a little like mini haunted like Halloween Horror Night thing, even though it was the middle of like June or May when that happened. And like I was going through with people, and they're like running as fast as they can, and I'm like awkwardly running with my hands in my pockets because I didn't want to like swing at a performer, basically.
Same. The only thing that saved me in this case was not only was there a cameraman filming us, but I was also given a camera to hold myself, to film myself.
Oh, so you had responsibility.
So my hand was already taken. I'm not going to say I don't remember the night very well because it all happened so fast and I was so scared, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some shots of me swinging at the actors with the camera. That might have happened.
Like it's a baseball bat?
Maybe. Like I'm already holding out like this anyway, you know? Yeah. I'm supposed to get my face. I can't guarantee that I didn't, you know, it's already out there. Anyway, so...
I just picture you being like, back, Demon, back!
Not even that, just... But yeah, look out for that, because it's posting 2 days after we're recording this, so by the time you see this episode, that video
it'll be on your feed.
Will have been out for a couple weeks already, but that's CZ's World. You'll check it. It's called Every Haunt in Southern California.
And to make it easier, I will make sure it is in the description of the episode. Again, not because they need our help promoting it, because they are way bigger than we are, but we want to make it easier for you guys if you want to check out the other dumb shit we did.
To see me freak out and everything. So anyway.
Perfect.
Well, thanks for joining us. If you have any thoughts, make sure to drop them into the comments for either the YouTube upload or official Instagram post about this episode. If you like what you heard, we'd appreciate a rating on the podcast app you're choosing. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts, and CastBox. I'm spent.